Welcome back to the Arbitrous YouTube channel. In today's class, we are going to learn how to make the stylish pleated sleeve design that we have. It's a very simple tutorial and it's beginner friendly. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so this is a simple puff sleeve tutorial that has a deep pleated detail around the center area. So that detail stops around the elbow area. You can stop anywhere you want it to stop. So I'm going to note that point first. So this is like a leg of mutton sleeve. I have a tutorial on how to do that in the channel already. Okay, so those type of sleeve, they'll be bulky from the elbow upwards, and then from here to the hem they will be fitted, they will be slim sort of. So here is where I'm going to be stopping all the volume that I am adding to this. So now to add more volume to this upper part, I'm going to be using the slash and spread method to do that. So the first one I'm going to do is to divide it on the cap side area, which is 3.5 inches for me. So I'm going to mark that here as well, and then I'm going to make it into a straight line. So that's my first slash line. So here I'm going to find the midpoint of my armhole, and then I'm going to connect that as well to this side. That's another slash line. This is to add volume to the head of the sleeve. Okay, so between my cap height and my elbow, I'm going to find a midpoint there, and on that midpoint I'm going to mark the straight line. So I have about 4 slash lines there. By the time I slash and spread all of this, it's going to give me more volume. So this is the underarm area. This part is going to be cut on fold by the time we finish slashing. So this is just half of the sleeve, it's not a full sleeve. So I'm going to be slashing from the center towards the side. I'm not going to cut completely on the side. I'm going to spread it and stop at the tip. So what you need to do now is to take your scissors and then you cut. So I'm going to cut this, stop it by the tip. I'll cut this as well and stop by the tip. I'm going to cut this as well. You can even stop slashing here. It's still going to give you volume, but if you want more, you can spread this elbow area a little bit as well. So now that I have slashed all of them, the next thing is to spread by how wide you want it to be, by the amount of volume you want to introduce to this. So you can see how I'm spreading it. I'm going to bring in a fresh paper, and then I'm going to be placing this on it. So that is where I'm going to spread this on, and I'll gum it down with my glue. Okay, so you make sure that this center, this whole thing where you're not spreading, is matching the straight part of your paper. Okay, you can glue that one down first. So once you have them straight like this, you start spreading this part however you want to spread it. That's totally up to you. You spread as much as you want. So I'm just trying to glue this part down so that it does not shift. So after gluing it down like this, I'll start spreading this. I don't want to spread this part too much, so most of my spreading is going to be here, and you can see how big this is now. It's very big already. So you spread as much as you want. I think I'm just going to be spreading by maybe 3 inches because I don't want it too big at the same time. So I think 3 inches is fine for me. So you can see from one end to the other. Once I have my 3 inches, I'm going to glue it down. Then you go to the next one. Once you have your 3 inches, you glue it down. That is how I am spreading, and this is the volume that I have already. So I've spread it now, and this is what I have. Okay, so to reconcile the head of the seal, this is where the last one stops. So I'm just going to draw a straight line to the center fold here. Okay, so for the height here, I'm going to go up by 3 to 4 inches depending on how high you want it to be. And then it's my curved ruler, I'm going to connect it to the side. So that is all we need to do. So now this is the new shape that we have for our sleeve. I'm going to go ahead and grab my scissors and cut this out. So you see now that this is very different from what we had earlier. It's now bigger. So for the side, you cut exactly what you see. Okay. So remember, when you are cutting this on your fabric, this part has to be cut on fold. So I'll go ahead and cut this on my fabric now and then show us how to hide the pleats around it. Okay, so I've cut it on my fabric now. You can see that part is on fold. So when you open it, you can see how voluminous it is. We're going to be pleating or gathering all of this back to its actual size. Okay, so now to create that design that we see there, I'm going to be working with this paper pattern so that we can see. I'll mark my elbow again. This is my elbow line. So here we're going to create that eye oval shape that we see there. You can create whatever shape that you want. So for the puffiness, I'm going to come down by around 5 to 6 inches. Okay, do 5.5. And then I'm going to be connecting from there to where I want it to stop. You can stop on your elbow, it can stop a little above your elbow. It's totally up to you and what you want. So with the head of my curved ruler, I'm just going to create like a curve like this. Sorry. So this is totally up to you and how big you want this to be. So the highest is around 2.5 inches, and you know this is going to be cut on both sides, so the width is going to be around 5 inches, which is fine for me. If you want yours to be bigger than this, you can cut it bigger. So I'll just cut this out and then use it like a template to mark on my actual fabric. Okay, so that is what we have there. So now I'm going to bring the actual fabric now and I'll put it on fold again. So after putting it on fold, I'm going to come down by the same 5.5 inches that I came down, and then I'll place this pattern on it and draw out what I have there with my chalk, so that I can see what I'm doing. But make sure you arrange this well. You can iron it so that it lays flat for you. So once you place it like this, I'm going to grab my chalk and then mark it out. I want it to be identical for the two sides. That's why I'm using this paper as a guide. So you can see what I'm trying to mark out. I hope my chalk is visible. I'm just marking out exactly what I have here. So after marking on this side, I'm going to carry it and flip to the other side. So after flipping to the other side, I'll mark the 5.5 inches again to know where to start, and then I'm going to mark the same shape on the other side so that I can have a full shape. So I'm marking it now. I can open it out and see what I have. You can see it's exactly on the same point, so you can make it bolder so that it doesn't clean off. So this is the shape that I'm going to be pleating on. If you want it bigger at this point, now you can see what you have. You can increase it. If you want it smaller, you can reduce it. If you want another shape, you can draw out another shape, but this is the shape that I'm going to go for. So now I'm going to take my tape rule and then measure around this shape. You can use this to measure. So now this is a curve, so I'm going to be placing my tape like this, and then I'll measure it round. After measuring it, I have 14 inches. So multiply by 2, that's going to give me 28. So for the pleats, depending on how full you want it to be, you can multiply the 28 by 2 inches or 3 inches. So I'm just going to use the length of my fabric for that, which is 60 inches. So I'll fold my fabric by the 60 inches. That's like multiplying to 3. And then I'll put it on fold again. So the biggest part is going to be 5 inches. So 5 inches of fold is going to be like 10 inches when it is opened. So I'll mark, you can see I'm putting it on fold. So once I have my 5 inches, I'm going to cut it out. 5 inches is including seam allowance. So I'll mark 5 inches and cut. So I've cut it out now. The next thing is to shape it. If you notice the plate, it's high at the upper part, okay, at this upper part, then as it comes down it becomes smaller. So I'm going to try to taper it towards the end. So you put it on fold like this, and then I'm going to fold into 2 to have my 5 inches. So once I have that, I will mark the half of this just as a guide. So this is about 29, so the half is going to be around 14 and a half, thereabout, so which is there. So I will take my ruler and then just shape it inwards like this, just like we have it there. Okay, so once you mark it like that, I'm going to grab the scissors again and I'll cut that part off. So once you cut this part off, this is what you have. So now you can iron this first, but you just need to make sure that this edge is neat. So you can take it to your serger now and then serge it so that you can have this part neat. This is a tutorial. I'm just going to go ahead and sew. So what we are doing is to pleat this around the sleeve, following the shape that we have marked here. So here now you start pleating it. You start pleating this all around. So you go ahead and place this all around the sleeve. That's what we are doing. Okay, so I've gone ahead to plait it. So I just realized that I multiplied it by 2 instead of 3. Remember, everything was 28 inches and then I used about 60 inches. So it was not so full. The pleats are not so full. You can see it's not very full plate. So if you want to do yours, please make it multiply by 3 or 4 so that you'll be able to plait it and have something very, very full. Also, you can, the choice of fabric should be stiff fabrics so that you have something very strong. You will have your plate standing very well. But if you're not using fabric that are stiff, you can straighten it with interfacing before plating. So when you cut your fabric, you iron your interfacing to it so that by the time you wear it, it will be able to stand. I just ironed it. That's why I'm still able to get something like this. So if the main fabric that you're using for the main sleeve is not stiff as well, you can also straighten it. So you can use maybe Mikado silk for this, the very strong one. So with that you have something stiff. So now after sewing like this, you can cut out another one of this with the same fabric and use it to cover up you turn it out and use it to cover up all these rough edges, or you can just bead on it, or you use your trimmings to cover it up. So you just lay your trimming on it like this so that you can cover it up. So after doing that, the next thing to do is to go ahead and pleat this back to your actual armhole measurement. Remember, this is bigger than our armhole measurement, so you start pleating from here. So you can pleat or you gather just like this. Okay, so I'll go ahead and do this now. Also, because my fabric is just a satin fabric, it's very soft, so I'm just going to be ironing a gum stay around this area so that I can have something a little bit stiff. But if the fabric you're working with is stiff, maybe you're going with Ashoke or Mikado, you may not need to do this, as it is going to be strong on its own. So if you iron interfacing to this, what it means is that you have to line it so that you can conceal all of this. So you cut another lining for it and then use it to turn it out. So I'll go ahead now and gather this. Then after gathering it, you close it up and then sew it on the underarm area. Okay, so I have gone ahead to gather this to my armhole measurement. You can see, so you set all of this place, and then I sew the underarm here. You will see that from here it's just a regular pencil sleeve, then it becomes big from there upward. You can see all this puffiness that we have around it, and then you can see the design that we have here. So like I said, if you want this your design, although this is still standing, but if you want it to be really firm, you can iron interfacing to it so that it can stand even firmer. So now I'm going to place my trimming around this and gum it down, then I'll take it to the mannequin so that we can see what it looks like. Okay, so this is what it looks like on the mannequin. You can see how beautiful it is and how simple it is to make. I hope you enjoyed making this beautiful tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel. Kindly follow us on all our social medias at LibraryTrace on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, on all social media platforms, and you can shop any of our designs on librarytrace.com. Thank you.